Good evening, sir. Welcome to the podcast once again. You know, आज we are going to talk about the cybersecurity aspect of things. We had talked about trying to make a special segment for this. Welcome to the show, sir. I hope we'll be able to inform our audience even more better.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be on your show, and I think this is a series of topics on communication technology, and today we are talking on cybersecurity. Again, that is a very interesting and very relevant topic as on today.
So, from the like general aspect of things. So, by profession, I'm a software engineer. So, I'm
Okay.
very much obliged to understand what cybersecurity is and how I should be handling that in my day to day, in work or something like that.
Okay.
The aspect of cybersecurity from my point of view, from a cybersecurity professional's point of view, is of how can I design my software securely so that my end consumer can use the software securely, and then there is no any chance of exploitation of that application or whatsoever. But oftentimes the humans are the weakest aspect in the chain. Like maybe software is
Yeah.
not always the way that
Actually, it
exploitation of
is. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah
You can carry on. I think hardware also plays a very important role, and the human
yes,
interface
yes.
also plays important.
Yes, but let's assume that hardware is fine, but generally it is observed that like in the when we're talking about cybersecurity, the conversation is generally around software. Very rarely we are talking about hardware specifically, because the aspect is around applications and different types of software. Wouldn't you agree?
See, yeah. So actually, okay, let me give you my background. So I've been into telecom and cybersecurity in IT for the Indian Army for last 24 years, and it's been just 2 years I've left the army, and I've been in core of signals. And core of signals mandate is cybersecurity, and the cybersecurity for armed forces is the best in the country because you'll never hear any, news they click that so and so command or army headquarters, servers were, they were vulnerable or they were attacked, or because our cybersecurity policies are, I think in my entire service, I've done cyber audits. We've got cybersecurity, policies, protocols, SOPs. So cybersecurity has always been the defense, prerogative. And last 4 5 years, I've seen that even in the civil domain, people have started talking about cybersecurity. So, but cybersecurity, see, you being a software engineer, I myself have done, basic computer science, then BTech in IT and telecom, and MTech in communication systems, PhD in, optical and cellular networks. Software uh, is a basic software engineering is a basic thing as of today. Everywhere you have to use the application software design code. But when once you define, so let's come to the definition of cybersecurity, and what is cyberspace. If I say cyberspace is any device or equipment where an IP packet can travel, right? So cyberspace is not only the application of the code or the codes, lines of codes which you've written for the application or the software. It is also dependent on the hardware, its physical ports, the cables and wires which are connected, other devices. From your when I'm talking to you, your endpoint is your laptop, which is running
Correct.
on OS in it, and
Correct.
that OS is taking care of some basic, security protocols. But you've got a cybersecurity software, or you're using some algorithms. You're using say IPsec, you're using some algorithms or security algorithms, but that is defined to your platform, the mobile or the laptop. Thereafter, once you generate a transmission, what should I say, a packet, an IP packet, if I say at layer 3, or TCP protocol at layer 4, there's other higher, layer application, if I say these logical, capsules. As they travel the entire cabling, they go through an internet. Now, internet again consists of multiple devices, your MPLS routers, your IP routers, okay, where each packet is opened. There is a packet inspection. The packet header is closed. The routing route is found, the best shortest route is found, and the packet is again transmitted. The next node again opens the packet. So every time your packet is being opened, it is vulnerable. Okay, so it is not only the code, it is the hardware, the communication cables, thereafter the uh, interfaces. You know, thereafter at the end point, after traveling so many firewalls, your IPS IDS systems, it reaches the end point. So this entire space where this IP packet is traveling is a cyberspace, and cybersecurity is required in the entire cyberspace. So you started with a very small thing, is that the software, but it is the software, the hardware, the ports. You can enable, disable the ports. The cables provide just a pathway. In between the networks which are transmitting your packet from one end to the other, say from US to India, I'm transmitting. Each communication node is also part of the cyberspace. And the cybersecurity algorithm, the cybersecurity procedures, and the physical separation of equipments have to be done and to the entire cyberspace. So when I talk of cybersecurity, it includes the software, the hardware, the communication cables, the networks, the interfaces, hardware interfaces, software, applications inside those equipments, and till the endpoint when the finally IP packet is delivered in the form which you created, without being eavesdropped, without being denied the service, without any changes, any replication, any altercation, or spoiling the packet in some way. This is what cybersecurity is all about.
So I think I agree with you on that on the larger extent, but I think I will take it one step ahead also and say that in the eyes of the public, when we say cybersecurity, this hardware aspect of things that you're mentioning doesn't come into picture so easily, because when somebody says in the news that oh, something got hacked, so they immediately assume it is software. Sometimes, like you
No.
said, it can be hardware that also is vulnerable.
It is
uh,
the software is the last part which gets affected. You see, so
exactly.
when the balloon burst, you say the balloon has burst. But how did the balloon burst? Somebody fired, an arrow. He took a bow and
Yes.
arrow here, and the arrow went all the way, and then he burst the balloon. Balloon burst. When the software gets affected, that is the final result. It is like when your body temperature goes up, there is some disease which has hit you. But the protection of your body from that disease is through all the mechanisms, like having your hands sanitized, taking care of your body, your immunity level, how to improve your immunity level, staying away from places which have high bacterial or viral infection areas. This is cybersecurity. What you're seeing is the software getting affected is the final outcome,
Correct. Correct.
right? So that's why when I tell you, see, in India, we in many organizations, if you see the cyber security protocol, cyber security, the audits, they include all this. I have done cybersecurity audits all my life. Okay, so when you go to a formation, each and every terminal, you run a algorithm. So you check the entire platform, whether all the cybersecurity, as per the policy, whether the USB has been disabled or not, whether whether Bluetooth is enabled or not, whether Wi-Fi is enabled or not. There's 100 things which you look into. You run a script. The script gives you the result from the devices. Thereafter, you check the physical thing. So your laptop is there. There is a router, right? Or a MPLS router and IP router. You find that you've connected so if there is separation of the network required, you find you're connected to the same router to physically through another LAN cable which connects to the outer world, which is not defined in your cybersecurity policy. So you finished your network. You let outsiders or a gray area come to a network, to your own defined network. And let me tell you, in the army, we've got demilitarized zones, DMZs. So you separate red zone, blue zone. You separate these zones so that any attacker, if he attacks, he'll attack the area which is your what I can say, area which can be sanitized. Okay, so any attack which is coming, what is an attack? It is an IP packet with some code sent into your network so that your device runs that code and stop working in the normal in an abnormal way. It gets into a loop. It crashes your system. So even attack, code is a code, a software code, which tells your computer to or your device to run in a way which is not designed to work like that. Hence, you say, I've been attacked, or my equipment is not working, or it is crashing, or it is not, or the performance has reduced, or there's a denial of service for some time. Okay, so I can put a Trojan or virus in your device, and through a trigger, I can ensure that at certain time of the day, it doesn't work. Your device stops working normally. I can disable the LAN port so that no IP packets flows out of it. I can attack your firewall settings. I can change the firewall settings. So any network is made by number of devices, IP devices connected together, and to ensure that the network is safe, you have to have a firewall outside. It is like a gatekeeper, right? You may have intrusion protection devices, intrusion detection devices. You can have multiple layers of cybersecurity devices. So these hardwares are also part of cybersecurity. So these hardware with their application software have to be configured in a way that you should know which IP packet should be allowed, which should not be allowed. If an IP packet is trying to continuously trying to attack your system, it should detect it. It should prevent its inflow into the our network. So all these have to be defined. This entire phenomena which I was talking in short is a cybersecurity protocol policy, and you audit it also and see whether it has been ensured. So you have to define a cybersecurity policy. You have to understand what is a cyber attack, what are the devices which are get can be affected, so that the entire stream of networks do not get affected by any unwanted, code, say Trojan virus or whatever.
So, sir, like if we just talk about what are the basics that, let's say, individuals can take before we
Yeah.
proceed to broader part of society, what are the things that individuals can do to avoid being in a cybersecurity incident themselves?
Okay. So say anybody like you and me, a common man, will his see if I talk of confidential networks and defense users and government users, they have very specific confidential information in their devices. But for a normal user, what do I have? I have a device which has the username, password, or various my Gmail IDs, my banking IDs, my applications which are personal to me, and whose vulnerability is there, and if it gets affected, it will cause harm to me in terms of financial loss or a personal loss. When somebody may imitate me and use my profile to present it at a place where I may be later charged by legal agencies or apprehended by legal agencies. So first thing we have to do is, first of all, you ensure you use licensed softwares, because the free softwares generally have bugs in them. When I say bug, there are certain codes, because it is free, so you will take it immediately. But I'll with that application code, I'll put in some unwanted codes which will try stealing data from you. So first thing what you should do is not use any unlicensed or free application, right? Second is, once you've used all the licensed applications, try at least, I tell everybody, even for your handsets or your laptops, use an antivirus or any internet suite which has the cybersecurity basic policies implemented, so that at least it will give you an alarm. It will tell you, okay, your some of your data from your device has been stolen on this day, or the password has been hacked, so please change your password. It will suggest you to basically give an alarm or try to prevent certain attacks, which today's uh, I don't want to name the companies, but any internet suite, if you're working on internet, you should have an internet suite. Earlier, we used to work on stand-on PCs. Stand-on PCs, you should have the antivirus. So basically, the people who design the viruses also make the antiviruses. That's why you should use the updated new version of these antiviruses, so that the older version of attacks are taken care by the new version. But that doesn't guarantee that your PC or device will not be hacked. But yes, by normal methods, it won't be, and you'll get an alarm. Secondly, anybody who wants to attack you is like a normal user, you and me. He will try to get data from you, because he's more aware of your software coding, application codes, and he will create certain mail or a message, which once clicked will attack the software in your system. It will attack some OS, some part of the software in your OS, okay, or your application in your WhatsApp. It will try to alter the code. Hence, do not click any mail or a message which you don't identify the sender, where the sender doesn't look authentic. So it is better not to click any, like we have a habit of seeing what is in my mail. Something like, in earlier days we used to get letters and we open the post, a letter box and see what mails we've got. But with the digital system, You don't need to check each and every mail or click each and every mail. You can see, read it, but don't open it until unless you're not sure. What you do by opening that mail, mail which has, not good intentions, you basically run the code which the mail has already imbibed or embedded with. So if you click the mail, you run the code which is embedded with the mail, and that code, since you are open, it straight goes to your OS code or your application codes and amends them in a predefined way, which you don't understand. But suddenly you can see that your camera light is on, or your, some microphone, your device starts operating in a very different way. Hence the
Abnormally.
best thing is, yeah, abnormally is the right word. So what happens is that its function is not normal. You find certain things which are very subtle, but there you understand why it is happening, and you just, so any time if you see any abnormality in your device working, there's some malified code which has come to your PCs. See, all the cyber attacks were never there when we did not have internet. If you have a standalone PC, you cannot have, you generally, unless you have through your floppy disk, your USB drive. Secondly, one important point is, uh, any USB device, it should rather not be used. It is better to use your Google, drives, or these online cloud storage systems. A physical drive, or a USB, if it is passing through multiple computers, any of your friend's computer is, or your laptop is affected, it will automate, that code is designed in a way that any external USB or any device is plugged in, automatically that code gets copied into that device also. Once you bring that USB, or the external device into your, and plug it in your USB, it first thing it does, it takes the code, it allows the code inside your OS, and you get affected. It's something like a disease, you know. It's very, why we say it's a virus, because it behaves like that. The behavior is such: you touch a person who is infected, you automatically get the virus, and it infects you also. And hence we use the same terms, like it's getting infected, my PC is infected, right? And because with the virus your body behaves abnormally, and it doesn't perform, the performance is not as good as a healthy body. In the same way, when a virus or trojan attacks you, your device doesn't perform the way your body, or your the laptop device performs normally. This is
Yeah.
very layman, I've explained things.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And here we have a guest star here. So
So my dog is sleeping outside.
he
Okay,
likes coming. So
on
yeah.
a lighter side, yeah, tell me.
Yes, yes. So
So
I think
this is in basic what cyber attack is, what is a cyber space, and the basic, what should I say, the your basic hygiene mechanisms, in which you should not click any unwanted mails, should not even click any unwanted messages, or some audio video file. Anything you find is suspicious, please don't open it. Don't use any USB device. If you're using it, maybe use in a PC which you is not, doesn't have important data, and use it in a PC which should have some internet suite or a antivirus. At least it will scan it and detect it.
in fact, there is one resource that government has provided under Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. It's for
Mm.
the
Yeah.
bot removal tools which are existing. So, for example, for the audience reference, this is the government resource that they can go where for Windows. You have K7 security quick heal that they are providing for the bot removal tool. For your Android phone, also they have like some third party alternative, and there's a government developed application as well through CDAC Hyderabad, where they have one bot removal tool that they have implemented for the public. So if one has a suspicion that maybe something is going wrong
So
with my
this is
machine,
specifically for bot, right? It is only for bots.
it is all kind of malware basically,
Okay,
like
malware, yeah. Yeah,
malware.
so
So
any
just
malware, Trojan virus, all these things, if there is, this tool can help. I'm sure there
yes,
must
yes,
be some,
yeah,
authentic tool in that.
yeah,
So
like
if you don't
uh,
want to use a licensed purchase one, you can go for this website and see the tools which
yes,
is
yes.
being offered.
The easy way to explain is that like bot, because bot means some kind of a malware. I think this is the assumption in the public with the branding, like how it is.
Mm-hmm.
So government has
But
made it
bot
with this
generally
name.
is use a robot which helps you.
Ha
So
ha
generally you
ha.
find in all the apps, instead of a call, there's a bot, an AI agent which tries to assist you. Yeah,
Yes,
but
yes,
bought
yes.
in a
But
negative way. Yeah,
negative way.
so
Yeah,
a
yeah,
malware or
yeah.
Trojan or a virus or
Yes.
all those things. Yeah.
Yes. So government has a resource for us. So at least there is some free thing that is available to the public that they can
Yeah.
access. Okay. So that's
Yes.
one
Yes.
aspect of it. So
But
then,
let me
huh,
tell you, even on if you go to any of the Amazons and Flipkarts and just see a internet suite, it doesn't cost much. For a year, it may cost 1,000 or 800 rupees. So if for as on today's world, with see when I'm connected to the internet, this LAN cable or a Wi-Fi router connectivity is opening me to entire world of good people and criminals, right? So it is always better to keep your house as we put a lock outside our homes. We should have this internet security software in every device, even in the phones. And let me tell you, your smartphones are as vulnerable as your laptops. Hence, it is very important. The Airtels and the Geos and the Vodafones do not do anything for cybersecurity. They do the network security. When I mean network security, they only secure their network. They are not bothered about your handsets getting attacked or cyber attack of your
like
handsets.
they have
Hence, you
certain
should have.
applications.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of clarity, there's a geo security application is there. Then similarly, Airtel, at least from the branding perspective, I don't vouch
Okay,
for
I
it, or
was
I don't
part of
say.
Airtel Geo, so I'm telling you,
Huh.
they
No, no,
provide network security.
I'm just saying that the application exists. As a disclaimer, I'm not aware about it, but it
So
exists.
I'm
So I will
aware
not.
of it. So no, I will not comment on that. Hello. Yeah, so
Yeah, I can
can you
hear
hear
you.
me? Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I can
said
hear you.
I'll not comment on the veracity. Yes, there were ideas to provide a cybersecurity, total suite even to the users. But as of now, as we talk, uh, it's better to buy a branded antivirus or an internet suite for the Android phones. Okay, because Android phones are more vulnerable. At least in Apple phones, at least there's a methodology. See, that's why I told you cybersecurity also depends on the methodology use of hardware. So in any iPhone generally you use a mechanism that through iTunes only you download the software. So this
Correct, correct.
methodology of the hardware in the software create a cybersecurity or secured one process. For Android, it is better to buy and these internet suites don't cost more than 100 200 rupees, 2 300 rupees,
Yes,
very cheap
yes.
for 1 year. So everybody who's using an Android phone, any viewers who are watching, immediately buy a branded good licensed 1 year internet suite in your phone. At least the because a handset your handset is as good as a 2 3 year old uh, 2 3 year ago laptop's performance. Its performance is as good as any laptop, uh, 2 3 year old, right? Or maybe even these low performance laptops or PCs. Hence you should buy an internet suite and just install it in your Android phones for sure.
And if
I
you
think for
cannot afford it, users can go back in the timeline. There is a section where the application I mentioned by Stedak Hyderabad. It is a mobile security application that government has made for us. So if anything you're not able to afford, then you can download the free version which is existing. Free meaning what the government has made without any cost to you directly. So at least you have some basic level of security in your phone if it's not possible for you to buy something.
Yes, you should use that at least, but it is always better to go for a licensed version because these companies only create viruses, trojans, and malwares. They know the antidote for it. So, and they don't cost much for a year. 200 rupees is nothing, 300 rupees. So, I think more you secure your, communicating device, the better it is.
I agree totally, totally. So we have discussed like what individual can do, but then
Yeah.
we know that the security of our armed forces is very high in this regard. There's no doubt about that.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
we are not going to doubt that. But I've heard of so many issues in the civilian part of the government
Yes.
where
Yes.
maybe things can be really cleaned up, or at least if we have the expertise within the army, if can we take some of that expertise and try to get that defensive mode of cybersecurity into civilian government, because it feels like we have the expertise, like clearly we have it, we have the engineering talent. If we say we don't have software, we clearly have so many engineers in this country that we can go ahead and build it. So then, at this
Okay.
point, we are at a crossroads of why it's not happening, and then, like, how can we make it happen? So, like, what are your suggestions on this?
Okay. So I have seen three worlds in my long checkered career. I have seen the army for around 24 years, right? And if I count my training, say 27, 20 years. I've done around 2, 3 years in the deputation in the ministry at Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, and I've also interacted with DOT, Department of Telecom, and other ministries also. And the third world which I've seen is the industry corporate world, which is with Airtel I was there, and other Geo and other people. What I see, the loss of information is very critical in the armed forces. And since inception, since the IT and this cyber world, cyber domain, functionality started, maybe end of 90s or the cybersecurity, the information which the defense forces hold is of utmost importance to the national security, and hence this the consciousness and the understanding that we cannot let our data move out just because we are connected, right? So the best thing which the defense forces did was to segregate their network from the common network. So you are using an internet PC in the army, or the navy, air force, and defense forces, you don't use the same PC. Okay. When I mean the same PC is in the same configuration and the same mechanism that you're connected to the outside world. So we've got a parallel network. So if you've got say, if I just give you an example like the Airtel and the BSN, we've got our own network for the entire pan India defense forces, right? Army, Navy, Air Force have all their different networks, and these networks are air gap from the civil network. So none, and when I say air gap, how do you do the air gap? Basically, you don't connect any cable between your network and the internet. So if you go to any defense establishment, you'll find that your army network PC is separate and your internet PC is separate, and you're not allowed to even use the Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or sharing or even put a pen drive. And when we do a cyber audit, which I've done all my life, you go even to the hubs and switches and see whether any cable is connected in the common device. So if from the army network, it is like a defense internet, right? So from defense internet, any device, if the civil internet, the a cable comes in. That's why I said hardware is also important. That cable is creating a lead, a path for the attacker or cyber attacker to send his malware to the defense network. So it is quite first of all protected, designed in a way. The softwares are such which are more customized to the defense, developed more in-house. uh, I've seen Bharat OS for last 10, 15 years in the army. So there are various applications which are designed by the government organizations. And the cyber security policies, cyber audit is done every month. Cyber security policies are adhered and is taken very seriously. Any non-adherence, so you can be, I could say, taken out of service because you've created one fault by connecting some cables, which is very detrimental to loss of data of the network for the entire network. So if anybody goes in one network, he will go into the entire. It will affect the entire defense network. Hence, it is taken very seriously. Cyber hygiene, cyber tools, everybody, every Indian soldier is educated how to use a device, how to ensure cyber security, how to follow the cyber security protocols, policies, okay, and ensure cyber hygiene in every device which he is using. So we have been very, our cybersecurity policies have been very mature. When in my stint with the ministry, what I found is, since the data here is yes of importance, but loss of it, first of all, may not be appreciated in a way which it should be, and not many people notice it. So if I steal a data from public works department, I'm a Chinese hacker and I steal a data, and they all the ministry government offices use common internet. And to my surprise, when I went there, because I came from a place where cyber hygiene, cyber security policies are so strictly followed, and you are no, you're disciplined for that, and you may be punished for that in a way which is as per the army laws or the navy or air force laws. I found people using casually their pen drives into their devices, which is connected to the internet. They've got confidential information from so the cyber awareness is not there. Cyber security awareness is not there, which is very much at a very heightened level in the defense forces, service personnel. But here, I found people are casual and they don't understand cyber security. The way I explained, they think cyber security means that okay, the important information which some headquarter or some ministry is having, if it is important, that can be leaked. They don't understand even your small information which you're carrying may just add up to the big picture, right? So if I tell you CP or any normal, urban, if I just give you the information which house and which location this minister or any other minister stays as per the housing plan, I add this to his, another information which lists out the MAC ID or a IP address of a, all the government offices, and I just link and I know, okay, this is the IP address of, say, the Minister of Telecom or the Finance Minister, and I know the IP address. I can try and hack it, because you will be surprised, or you will know that they don't have firewalls and internet protection and detection, intrusion protection detection devices, because the point is the awareness is not there. Now, many organizations which have been affected, like the banking, the finance, they have, because of the attacks, they have started learning. So there are two ways of learning: is once you see and learn from other people, and once you fall and then you learn, then you know you have to protect your data. So what is happening? There is a transition which is happening. Many vulnerable ministries where Chinese and Pakistanis and such adversary, because they have got, like Chinese, even Pakistanis, they have a group of hackers which are already there, who want to, every day their job is to attack some government site, some Indian important site. If you remember, there was a blackout of a power grid in India, okay, not very long ago. That was a cyber attack. Okay, so the power grid people, they thought apne server ko kaun attack karega, how does anybody, but if I attack and I jeopardize or sabotage the entire power supply of 2 3 states in India, you can see the amount of things it can happen, the train, the flight,
and
everything can get disrupted.
and the interesting part is that like factories and other places which are dependent on the power grid for manufacturing
Yes.
like things which are maybe critical for national security, like because it's not like always you have the luxury of having like separate power
So
supply
if
for
I'll
that.
just give you another example, see how an integrated attack is done. I jeopardize the entire northern grid of your country, and being China attacked from your northern theater, okay, I also ensure that your trains, entire railways movement is, I attack the railway servers, and all the trains get halted, right? I also ensure that the highways network, all the toll plazas, they stop working, and I launch an attack into your country. You cannot react because your trains are not moving, your highways are getting affected, your power supplies are not there in locations, right? So you will be totally non-reactive, in a state of freeze, and I'll do whatever I have to do and come out of it. And after certain duration, these networks will be up, but when I wanted it to be not working, I ensure it doesn't work.
This is one thing which I wanted to present, which is this so-called kill chain. So Lockheed Martin had come out with this couple of years back, where they show
Okay.
how the process of attack on any particular target can happen. So it starts from recon. It's all little bit of
Definitely.
army jargon, but it's
Recce.
like you can say
We
that
call it
the
we call it as recce. So before you do anything, you just go and find out, how what the place is like. So same way, it is a reconnaissance to understand the system which you're going to
yeah.
attack. Yeah.
And then
Then you
you are
weaponize it.
going,
Yeah.
yeah, then you weaponize it, then you figure out the delivery mechanism, which is what sir was saying like some time back. He was talking about the specific like email, like don't open emails in which you are not sure about who is this from, like any suspicious emails. So if you open, then what happens? Then your device can get exploited, like there can be some kind of vulnerability which is exploited, maybe in the browser, or some kind of other software on your machine can get manipulated, and then you can say the malware is installed so that something can be done on your machine. And then there is what we call C2, command and control. Let's say then let's like the same example, if in northern grid, like if this is going to be attacked, server is going to be attacked, so how will it will happen? So it will happen these steps, and
No.
once it has been
So
captured, so
command
like
and control here means, just an interjection. Command and control here means, once you have ensured the delivery, you started exploiting, and your malware is already, or virus or trojan, whatever is installed, then you take over the control, command over of that network or system. and then you do the object actions which you want to sabotage, denial of service, and all these aspects you can carry on.
And then the last step is the action that you want to achieve out of
Yes.
the exploitation that has been performed. So this is the
Yes.
cybersecurity kill chain, like in very short graphical way of explaining what we were talking about, right?
It is just logical. See, it is just logical. You know, first of you have to decide what is the network you want to attack. You just go and, as a normal user, use that network and see what are the vulnerabilities. Then you design how I'm going to attack it. Then you ensure that the code is entered through the device through the ways mechanism you've thought. Once it has installed, and you know, then you check whether it is working or not, and then you decide the time and day when you want to create that and take over the control of that network with you and do the destruction which you want and then exit. That is how, like, it's a very logical flow of things.
And I will say that I was surprised, a couple of years back. Well, I shouldn't say surprised, but I think it is natural that this is the case. That I have seen that there are even uh, you know APTs or advanced persistent threats which are coming from our subcontinent. Some of them are from our
Yes.
very very friendly neighbor Pakistan, and then the
It's been
uh,
always been friendly. It was friendly, that's why we partitioned it, no?
yes, yes.
It is like you keeping an enemy at your neighbor, as a neighbor, so that you're always away. But we generally not. I'm telling you, the example which I gave you, you and me, or people who are still using in the corporate world, or those who are using banking software are still, I say, a little bit aware. But the people who are running these servers, the normal operators and engineers in these government organizations or these power grids, they're not aware of they're not aware of the cybersecurity threat. They are not aware how to, so they are not educated how to protect your servers and devices at times, though it is changing. But why these attacks happened 5 or 10 years ago? Because nobody thought that it is a threat. So the defense forces knew, by mere paas jo information, there is no way I can let it go, so you're defending it. But others thought कि मेरा computer से किसको क्या interest होगा. Now that myth is changing. That myth
No,
is
I will
changing.
tell you. I will tell you, sir. Like it is not the case that मुझे पता नहीं था, but like even somebody tried to blackmail me with deepfake.
Okay.
Like this has happened with me also. Like I know
Digital
कि it is not
arrest.
true. No, no, with like a deepfake for like trying to say that okay, actually this is like you, or like manipulated images or whatever. So like of course it is not true, but because I am aware individual, I know like this is what it is like.
So now, when the world uses, why I'm really surprised. See, the old age people. I
Uh,
that day I saw a video wherein one bank employee narrated how she helped a elderly lady, because the elderly lady came and she wanted to, liquidate all her FDs at one go. So she advised, "Why are you doing it? Some of them are not mature." And she looked a bit troubled. Then she took her to the manager, and then she lady, after hours, she accepted, yes, somebody is, basically she was digitally arrested. So point is that the older generation, they have started using computers at much, like you and me, we understand how an OS works. Okay, what is
mhm,
boot? I can put a software or a malware in your device, where I'll thereafter you switch off your computer, do not switch on, because the boot file only tells you where the OS resides. If I change that, it will never find the ways to start up. So I can do that because we have learned computer science as a subject.
yes,
But
yes.
point is, the elderly, they have seen this as a device. They don't know how it works. You and me know how it works, right? But
Mhm,
they don't know. So if anybody says कि इसको ऐसा करना है, this has happened, they assume कि, because they assume कि सब कुछ अपने आप हो जाता है. They don't know a program is a
mhm,
series of lines of codes which tells the OS what to do, where to do, and how to do, right? So
mhm,
this
mhm,
can be manipulated. They assume this is the system, and अगर ये बोल रहा है तो ठीक बोल रहा होगा. In the same way,
mhm,
if they see through a video call or through a banking system, they say बैंक का आदमी होगा. And if he say, वो इतना convince कर देते हैं that they literally become their slaves and do whatever he is telling you. So these
mhm.
are the things. So had you not, so anywhere you find any suspicion, you should stop. You should check back, or you should, complain to. Nowadays, every police station has cyber cells. So there are cyber frauds. People are losing money.
I will say, sir, that for people who actually lost money, like I went to complain because I was like, why is somebody blackmailing me for whatever reason? Like this
Yeah.
happened with me.
Yes.
This is my
Yes.
personal story. So I went to the police station. I made a report, everything like that, so that in case that ever there is a situation that they
The
identify
police.
who this
Yeah.
person is, then they will be able to attach some incident that happened, so that they can get some tools or some kind of data to prosecute that person. But for whatever reason, they closed
So
it
what
because for me,
happens
I
is, these people, I tell you, where are these people residing? You've seen Jamtara and then
yes,
Netflix. These people residing in rural areas, okay? Somebody has taught them how to work, get the SMSs, get the passwords. And they attack people who are not careful. As simple as that.
yes,
So
yes,
you put an attack, but you will not be able to trace him because he will throw his SIM, he'll throw his all his contacts, he'll start with a new, avatar. So point is that we have to be aware. You cannot
yes.
catch him in this situation because a police may take certain steps to catch him, but beyond certain steps, he may just say there are so many harm there are if there are say 1 lakh people who are doing this fraud, you can't catch all 1 lakh of them, but you can create a
Yes.
deterrent. You can be
Yes.
smart than them, and you be a bit suspicious. That is how you
Yes.
can
Yes.
stop
Of
them.
course. Of course. Like in my case, because I knew this is happening, so I was like, okay, like
Mhm.
let me make an effort to make a report. So if at
Yeah.
all that there is a case, it something can be done because
Sometimes what
uh,
happens is there are
hmm,
cases, complaints against multiple complaints against one or two, such fraudsters, and police somehow manages to nab that fraudster. And once it does, the fraudster thereafter releases everybody's money, and you're lucky to get your money. But that is quite rare. Okay, that
yes,
they are
yes.
able to get him, and he has the money. He's not spent it. Once in those situations, generally you hear that people are getting their money back or whatever they've been. But most of the times, it is very difficult to recover your losses.
Yes, and from what I heard, I asked that person like, what is this specific protocol? Like, how are people getting their money or whatever? So he was saying that like banks are reversing the money transaction, but they are doing so when court order is provided. When it goes
Okay,
through the
let me
entire
tell you
process.
one more thing. I had in my MBA banking also as a subject. So banks with every credit card do an insurance, a fraud insurance, which is not told to the customers. So in case there are certain cases where a fraud has happened, the bank claims the insurance and gives you that money in case you are pursuing it very high. Otherwise, most of the time they say it is your mistake. Ideally, they'll give you all the proof. Sir, you have given the OTP, you have shared this, so it is your mistake. But if you pursue and if you go ahead, then maybe as an insurance, which they claim through the losses, they can, give the money back to you.
Yes, yes, yes. And like specifically in this case, like I was told by the policeman, he was very nice. Like he was very cordial, everything like that. Like when I told him, he thought that I'm coming to him after losing money. So I was like, no, no. Actually, I'm coming here to inform you that this is happening because
Inform.
he was telling me there are like so many cases where people are coming to him after losing lakhs of rupees. He told me one case where just last week somebody lost 30 lakh rupees in some kind of a digital arrest scheme and everything like that.
See what the government agencies can lose information of national importance, but the defense agency also can lose that. But as a normal civilian, what you can lose your money, you can lose your reputation. So people attack that. I'll take your photos and morph and try to spoil your reputation and then blackmail you for
Yes,
money, or I
yes,
steal directly the money. So what I can
yes,
get as a fraudster from you is either I want the money, either I can directly steal through your treasury and your bank accounts, or I attack your reputation, I attack your integrity, social integrity, and then tell you that if you don't give me money now, I'll blackmail you, and then I'll put it on the internet for everybody to see. So that is how it works. It is so one has to be careful, and one even if
correct.
somebody is blackmailing you, don't listen to him because his money blackmailing will not stop. Once he knows you got the money, he'll keep going. It is better to risk some take some risk and go to and tell him do whatever you want. And in today's world, let's be very honest. Anybody sends me a morphed image of any of my friend, I will know that it is not true. First, I will assume that it is wrong.
Yes, yes,
Because the times have changed. I know that somebody is doing it out of some intent. So don't be wary that mera image koi dekh lega. First thing is, with the internet and other things already there, everybody knows it is so easy to get an image. Why will somebody uh, do it? And so it is so some malintention is there.
Yes.
and hence he will not believe that mail, and he will not doubt you. So once you have that in your mind, then you can be more, take the courage and just complain it or just ignore him. He will try once or twice and then he'll leave it, because he'll catch another prey who
Mm-hmm.
reacts. If you stop
Mm-hmm.
reacting, I have noticed there are certain people who say, "Ki, you were telling about your example. I was in the at that time, and I got a call, ki, sir, I am calling from the what do you say, immigration department." I said yes. So he says that not the immigration. What do you call that? Where the parcels come from
Customs.
outside. Customs department. Yeah. I'm calling from customs. I said yes. Bole, you got a parcel. I said yes. So he said the parcel is given you, and this is 2 years ago when this was not so common. And he said ki aapka ye, and I got a second call also, that I'm calling from the courier department, DTDC or DHL, some verified company. He took the name and said कि आपका ऐसा पार्सल में ड्रग्स पकड़ा गया है. So I said yes, पकड़ा गया. मैंने कहा लेकिन भेजा किसने? तो कहता नहीं, we don't know that. I said if you don't know that, it is, बोले आपका नाम है. I said very good. So I said कि नहीं sir, you have to come. I said, why should I come? You do one thing, you go and complain to the police. The police should call me. Even if the
Mm.
police calls me, I am not at fault. Like somebody sending drugs, that is his problem. I am not called for it. And
Mm.
if I have to go, I go to physical police station. Why should I talk to you? I don't know who you are. First of all, whenever you answer such calls, you should always be on an attacking mode. Even if he's a genuine guy, he should be afraid. Ke to, the point is, they want to create, instill a fear in your mind that the because everybody gets afraid. Ki police, there's nothing. You go to a police station, they are very cordial, and you, if you're right, nothing can happen to you. So we should take out this fear ki police aa jaye. Nothing will happen. If you've not done anything wrong, why should you be afraid of? If somebody else has sent the drugs, I said, who has sent the drugs? You tell me. He should be caught. Why should I? But why you're talking to me first of all? And if
and
you have,
and 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 the reality is that if somebody has sent, then please send it. No, like if you are claiming
हाँ
that this
तो
is the case,
या
I
तो
will
आने
go.
दो. हाँ, first of all, you've caught it very good.
uh,
You've been what do I say, a very vigilant officer, or a
uh,
very and you came to know, or the even
uh,
the courier services, they try
uh,
to fake these calls.
uh,
I said, let the police station call me. I'll go to the
uh,
police station and then register. बोले नहीं आपका,
uh,
otherwise you pay so much. Why should I pay? I don't know you, right? First of all, any call which comes from bank or anybody, you doubt his existence only. You say कि you,
exactly.
I don't know you. You tell me, even with the employee number. I don't. You have a problem. You come to me. You come and arrest me if there's a problem. How can you? There is, what is the logic of digital arrest? How can somebody arrest you digitally? It is all in your mind. You're letting
Exactly.
that person arrest you. You say if something, the police should come to your house. If you've done something wrong, police will come to your house, or you'll be called, come to the police station. You go
Yes.
physically to the police station and speak to the inspector. Nobody can create a fake police station, right? So that
Yes.
is
Well,
taking it to the next
actually,
level.
I will say that in Delhi they caught somebody making a fake embassy also. Like this has happened.
Yeah,
This is a real
no,
life thing.
no. So fake embassies. I've been to many embassies. Embassies are there in the residential complexes. But if somebody tells you I am the ambassador of Egypt,
No, no.
so
Somebody
that
created
is
fake
taking to
police
the
station
next level.
also. I'm
So,
saying.
but still, if you
Uh,
have gone to a police station, you will know that it is, this looks like a police station. What doesn't look like a police station? So that is taking to next level. And if you create another police station, the nearest police will always come to know that you're creating something. He'll be caught. So that is taking to next level. Like you're trying to sell Taj Mahal. It has been a case long ago,
yeah,
right? So,
I mean,
but
it's incredible. Like I've seen cases where that in some small town somewhere where where there is hardly anybody, they have created some new police station, like all
yeah.
fraud
So
scam
so
one.
that is one of an incident. Okay, on such incidents, movies can
So,
be made.
but
But
it
in
is
the generic,
incredible. It's
yeah.
incredible
So
to
but
hear such things.
but in generic, fraud cases, he will try and give you an illusion that he's from a police station or he's from the customs, and he will convince you. The fraudster's main aim is to convince you, put you under that conviction that you are caught and you are at fault. You are not at fault. Okay, if you're not at fault, first of all, if you agreed that you are at fault, then he will try and and there's no logic giving the money. How can you give money to them and then they tell you don't tell anybody? Why should I not tell anybody? I'll call my lawyer, I'll go to the court, I'll represent my case. Why should I not? I find these elderlies going, नहीं किसी को नहीं बताना है और औरों को help करेगा. But see, now it has been so common, but once they look
I'm
back,
sorry,
they
I'm
feel,
laughing, but because it's so incredible, this is
yeah,
happening. But
I know, but see, we have to learn from others' mistakes. So
Yes, yes,
they
yes.
generally, the prey is generally people who are simple, who doesn't believe, and generally the elderly who do not understand the system. Now with so much of awareness coming, even the banks calling you, people are calling you that we don't call. And so one should know that you should not trust anybody, and if you are not at fault, you should not be convinced to accept that you are guilty. Even people,
And then
rapists
on
and
the other
murderers, don't accept they are guilty.
uh,
And you have not done anything, you accept you're guilty. And you're willing to
and
pay for it also.
on the flip side, I will say that any number that supposedly somebody is calling from, if
Hmm.
they're a bank number, you yourself can dial the number and check like which is the authorized number given on the bank website officially. You can check, or it
Best
maybe on
is,
the uh,
I being a cybersecurity expert, I can create a false, website which looks very
no.
authentic.
I am saying
So
for the
best is
average
to go
person.
to the physically, go physically
Yes,
to
yes,
the bank, go physically to the police station, go physically to the airport to the customs guy,
I agree.
and
I
you'll be
agree.
surprised to know
All
that they'll say, "I don't know who are you," right?
yes, yes.
So I
I
think
agree.
physical, what you see with the eyes is the best.
Yes, yes. I am saying that let's assume that it is a normal person that who is affected. So in that situation, if let's say somebody wants to like interact with banking services through the phone banking, which is a real thing, phone banking services
Hmm.
are real in India. It is not like it is not there.
Yeah,
So you can avail
e-KYC,
of
all
those.
these things are happening. Yeah, yeah.
Huh. All I'm saying is that if one wants to avail of such services, they should go to the authorized banking channels as per listed on the uh, phone numbers. Let's say you want the phone number, you can go to the physical branch, get the phone number. So next time when you want to dial it, they will tell you what is the number, and then
See,
that is one way to do
for
it.
routine activities, it is, you can still, take a chance and do this online
Yes,
verification. But once you see the stake is higher, please go physically to the bank, because you stop doing that. Please go physically to the police station, take that effort, and stop being afraid that these police stations and the lawyers and the courts will catch you and put you in prison. Nobody is going to do that. Nobody has time. There are enough of criminals hanging around who need to be put behind bars. For normal things, people will not. So have faith in the system and at least go and physically complain the way you did,
yeah,
right? So
yeah,
that
yeah,
is how it happens.
yeah.
So I think
So
we've come to the end of this initial cybersecurity, podcast.
yes, and of course, like in terms of what detailed things we can talk about, specific things, I think we'll do it in a following episode for
Yes,
sure.
we can have
Uh,
multiple, because this is a very relevant topic, and we can also
yes,
understand what are the better cybersecurity, policies and protocols and things which are there for defense forces, which can be used in the civilian domain, where now every
of course.
information looks is important, and we need to save that.
I think that that's the perfect way to end on today's podcast. So thank you, sir. Thank you for being on the podcast today once again. Always a pleasure
Yes,
having you here.
always great chatting to you with technology, and we try and make it simple for our viewers so they understand
Yes,
in
and
easy.
maybe a little bit of humor here and there. So
That humor is always important. Huh?
yes, yes, sir.
So
Okay, sir.
yeah,
So
okay.
Jai Hind, Jai
We look
Bharat.
forward for more. Yeah, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.